And the first map will be on Daybreak. Slyce versus Stone. A little bit of TVZ action right here. And the countdown has now begun.
IPL4, Daybreak, and once again, this is a map that neither of these players have practiced for sure. Maybe they've practiced against friends pre-coming to this tournament, but nothing heavily or nothing serious for sure in this, and we'll have to see how this goes.
Yes, indeed, we shall. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to bring you Slyce. He's in the green trunks, playing turn to the southwest of IPL3 Daybreak versus his opponent Stone. He is in the blue trunks, playing Zerg to the northeast.
So this is MB, Maximus Brood versus Link, the team Link here. These two teams, UK teams playing, and we'll have to see which team will win, which player will win. But I have a feeling that Slyce may have an advantage here, simply because he has been training hard for this tournament. When somebody comes to you saying, I want to compete in a live event, what do I need to do to be there? And then being top 6 within the BYOC, which is like a 200-player tournament, or 150, quite a large tournament. Obviously, the caliber wasn't that high, but to even go the distance, because in these big open bracket tournaments, there's a lot of cheese, and to be able to survive it and so on, you're doing something good. On the other hand, Stone, we'll have to see what he's got for this game, because he needs to win. Like we said, this is the loser bracket. Loser does lose the possibility of getting that higher seeding place.
Yeah, and I expect full bias from you for Slyce here. That's going to happen. It's a bit of coach-student support, and nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I'm okay. We'll see what kind of tricks you've managed to teach him. And I'm interested, as we just look through the start of this game and nothing particularly going on, what kind of tricks did you teach him for dealing with pressure of a tournament environment?
Well, we didn't really talk about that. We just talked about improving his game. I mean, it was a long time ago, and the only things I told him was just basically keep on improving, watch the replays, know your mistakes, continue from there. And, you know, like I said, the mistakes were that he wasn't up to multitasking. He couldn't quite push and defend against Mulus at the same time and so on. He needs to make a choice. Does he defend? Does he attack? And I'm sure that he would have changed things around for sure in 2 months' time. And Stone is going to go for this 15 hatchery. Well, actually goes for the spawning pool first, sorry. So it looked like that was a 14 spawning pool, then 15 hatchery. And I probably expect this factory to be coming down. You know, Slyce is a very straight-up standard player.
Well, Stone will try and scout, and of course he will not be able to do anything of the sort. He can always poke in after the fact just to have a look at the ramp, considering the position right there. And that is, I've got to say, Slyce does not have a huge amount of gas just yet, not enough to put down the factory. We'll see if he decides to do that once he hits that magic number 100. She has not done yet. There it is, just to follow that one up. And you expected Reactor Hellion play? It's very likely. Yeah,
I think it is very likely here. The thing is, from Stone, he actually hasn't gone into gas, weirdly enough. Okay, a little bit of a mistake there, but he is into it now, no problem. And he should be going straight into speed. And on Daybreak, it's easier to defend against Hellions, but you still need to get out a Spine Crawler. You have to. You can use an Evolution Chamber to wall off if need be. But the way to deal with Hellions is that you don't show you have Lings. You bait the Hellions in by just not showing Lings. They come on to creep, and then is when you come on. If he has too many, basically what you do is you don't look to engage, but you create a wall with Lings, whereas Hellions cannot run by, and then the Spine Crawler deals the damage.
Yep, and the control of the Zolong Watchtower has now been taken by Stone. In fact, he could have potentially even taken the second one. The scouting factory, the infamous scouting factory, which is not particularly a good idea when you'd like to place it on the reactor. I thought that was almost deliberately showing that. Probably not, but I don't know. Maybe Stone actually noticed that. I'm pretty sure it was in sight range of that factory. So it's like, there's a factory floating in this direction.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's
gonna go medivacs with no units.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's a pretty standard strategy for someone in Bronze League. But as it turns out, this time that is going to end up with a very, very weird set of thoughts going through Stone's mind. Like, what the hell is he doing? I have no idea, but there you go. I expect he'll just think, oh, it was just an error. We're just going to go with the straight-up defense for Reactor Hellion. And queen count looking pretty good for Stone. He's added on a third queen, which I very, very much like early on in the game. Good creep spread, which will help him against the Hellions as well. I think give him just a little bit of extra defense.
And I'm wondering if he's going to pass the 4 heli mark. He may just decide to lift it up and put a barracks there instead, which we are going to see, and then go into basically tank production you don't want to overproduce. 2 is okay a lot of the times, but 4 is probably better here because you can prevent the creep tumors a lot easier.
Yep.
2, you're cutting corners here, and there still might be an opening for 4 Hellions to squeeze in, and if that opening happens when you only have 2, you're not going to get the maximum damage output from them. So therefore we do have this, but weirdly enough, we only have 2 barracks instead of the traditional 3, which is a little bit weird from Slyce. He may look to go for a faster expansion, or may actually go for a starport instead. So he hasn't taken a second guess though, so he can't go starport. So a little bit interesting play here from Slyce. We'll have to see what that does actually mean when, well, very short here.
Well, Slyce is doing a little dance, making a little love, getting down tonight. But I don't know if that's going to help him in this particular game. He's not able to get through there. He is then at least able to deny that creep tumor down to the bottom there. And now some precision driving techniques on display here by Slyce.
And I think this is one of Slyce's first tournaments as well, probably first. Stone, though, veteran, has played in a lot of tournaments, and uh-oh, these Hellions are going to get surrounded.
That wasn't so good. The precision driving didn't really help there, did it? And Stone easily annihilating those Hellions. Knows he can now take the creep spread and can consider taking a third. His lair is almost complete here, and he's actually going to add on +1 ground carapace, which is an interesting decision. I believe thinking, oh, right, it's going to be Marine tank, so ground carapace against unupgraded Marines at this stage, very good idea. And there are no sign of upgrades coming in from Slyce just yet. He secures the Zolnaga watchtower down here.
Yeah, and you know, that was the kind of weakness I spoke to about before, the multitasking, losing those Hellions so easily, and also there is that faster third base, skipping that third barracks to actually put it down, or put a faster command center down really early. But this push is going to put a bit of pressure onto Stone. He can siege up underneath the destructible debris and just have maybe a bit of sight range, because he does, you know, can use a Marine to run around maybe, but the spike crawls may make that a little bit more difficult. But he has position for now. The problem he needs to worry about is if this push, gets crushed, then he's got no units, right?
Yeah.
He's got a third base, he's going to lose the game there and then. So he has to be so careful not to get flanked, not to come down easily and lose this army.
Yeah, he's got good positioning at the moment, but there is this flanking force moving around the back. If those Marines move away from those tanks, the tanks will be destroyed. I like the fact that he has left a few there. He's been quite cautious. Is he actually just going to go for a full-on run-by? I think he is. Slyce is just going to go, Stone is going to go all the way into Slyce's base.
It's going to work as well.
Yeah, it will. Oh dear, that is a lot of SCVs that you are not going to have. They've even got past the wall off here. That's pretty damn disastrous. And Slyce is now forced into more of a base trading kind of scenario where he's got to do a lot of damage in order to make that happen, but he moved forward and got out of position. The Lings did a ton of damage. The tanks annihilated the Marine count as well, and the Ling count is massive inside of Slyce's base.
I think that's checkmate here, unfortunately. 35 drones, cut drones really low, and just went into pure Lings to crush this attack. And unfortunately for Slyce, he couldn't deal with that counterattack, and he's lost his army. He has 3 tanks, but they're going to get cleaned up really fast with just continuing reinforcement of Ling. He does have 3 command centers, but down at 23 supply. GG.
There you go. And Stone playing very calm, cool, and cautious.